All right. Some updated odds for win totals in the National Football League. The Saints has been lowered to 3.5. That is the lowest in the National Football League. Not surprising. The Saints are 0-3, and last week was humiliating. Keep in mind, this time last week, we weren't talking in these terms because you'd lost games on the last possession, which happens every week in the NFL, but you get blown out like the Saints did on Sunday, and things and perspectives change, and Saints can do something to redeem themselves on Sunday if they go up there and play a tight game with Buffalo. I don't think that's going to happen, but it certainly could. Wouldn't be the first time a team that was winless went and played one of the teams that was one of the best in the NFL and played a tight game. And then you got chances to come back and win on your home field against two teams that are kind of in your boat with New York and New England. The question is, can the Saints get over the 3.5? Like, that's kind of the exercise that I want to go through here. So work with me and see if we can get the Saints to the over. I'm obviously going to throw away the game at Buffalo, but we've talked a lot about the game against the Giants and the Patriots that are coming up at home. What if I give the Saints one of those? So that's one win. They lose the other one. Okay. You're at Chicago. That is a winnable game. It's on the road. I'll say that the Saints won't win that game. You're home against Tampa. No. At the Rams. No. You do have Carolina coming up twice. This is an at Carolina, and then you got Carolina in the Dome in December. I'll give you one of those. One against Carolina. I think that's fair as well. So that's two. Then here are some other possibilities. At Miami, probably not. Miami played better last week.
Might fire their coach. We'll see.
Might fire their coach. We'll see. You got the Jets coming to the Dome in late December, the 21st. I think that is a very possible one. I'll give you that one. That's three. Then I got to get one more. You got division games with Atlanta, two of those. You've got a game at the Titans, who look terrible. You've got an opportunity to play, as I mentioned, the Bears earlier. I need to get one of those. So the best way to get to this over number is to get one against the Giants or New England, to get one against the Panthers, to get one against the Jets, and then one more of the remaining, which is probably going to entail at Chicago, at Miami, or at Tennessee, one of those road games. If you get that, that's four. It's possible. Is it likely, Beck? Do you feel like the Saints have four in them?
You know, we always say, especially with football, it is a week-to-week sport, and you get so high and low after each game. And the Saints are 0-3 right now. They got blown out by the Seahawks. They were very competitive in the first two games. But to me, it feels like this team can win four games pretty handedly, I think. It's a long season. Like
it is.
The Saints are going to play worse probably, and they're also going to play better. And there's a lot of games left on the schedule. So I would hesitate to say they're only going to win three games right now. I'm trying not to be hyperbolic in how badly they played against the Seahawks.
It was awful. And this is the most important thing. You cannot do what you did in Seattle, because if you do what you do in Seattle, every time you do that, you are destroying an opportunity to develop a young quarterback. I don't care if it's Rattler or Shough, because if you get penalties constantly, you immediately fall behind because you can't block for a punt or tackle a punt returner, and you're unable to even stay remotely competitive. You lose a developmental day because then you have to throw it all the time. The defense knows you're throwing it all the time. They can pin their ears back and come at the rush. Like, you don't give your quarterback a chance of development if you continue to play as poorly as they did. The wins and losses, again, are not the most important thing for this group at this point. There will come a point where that's the only thing that matters. It's not today. You've got to at least stay competitive. You can develop Spencer Rattler and or Tyler Shough in games that look like the Cardinals game, in games that look like the 49ers game. You can't do squat in games that look like the Seattle game. So you've got to clean up all this other dumb stuff where you're headbutting guys and you got too many guys on the field and you're getting pre-snap penalties. They have 15 pre-snap penalties, which are just going to put you behind the eight ball. You got to play better on special teams, and you got to stay competitive so you can develop your young quarterbacks. That's the most important thing. Whether or not that results in you getting over 3.5 wins, I don't know. And really, it is probably irrelevant unless that's the number that tips the scales between, hey, you got a chance at the number one overall pick, or hey, you're picking fourth, which, if that's the case, I'd probably rather pick first, if we're being candid. And I don't think that every single solitary Saints fan is on board right this second with losing all the time and pulling for your team to lose, considering you're not trying to get a coach fired at this point. But you're going to get closer and closer to that as the months progress. And eventually you look up and your record is what it is and you go, well, they probably need to lose. And maybe you need to think they need to be embarrassed far enough that Mickey Loomis has to be taken out with this because he's the one who assembled this product. That's maybe the hope for a lot of Saints fans. We'll see. I think the 3.5 number is fair. I would have a hard time going over it right now, but I can certainly see a path beyond it. And honestly, we're going to have a real good idea of this thing by October the 12th because that's when you got the Giants and New England coming in. If you can't beat either one of those two teams on your home field, well, the under's a lock. But if you can win one or two, then you start to see those improvements that we've been kind of talking about. And that's ultimately what you're trying to see from this season anyway. It's just improvement over the course of time. Hey, it's on. Thanks for watching Hunt on Saints. Before you leave, help us out a little bit. Hit that like button, leave your comments in the section below, and hit that subscribe button so you get all our content right here from Hunt on Saints. We'll see you next time.